Well, what an amazing welcome to country from one of our most powerful advocates, poets and philosophers, Riverbank Frank from the Riverbank out in Dubbo. He is such a powerful reminder that here on these stolen lands known as Australia, that First Nations always was, always will be the first lawmakers of this continent. And here we are. Please welcome the rest of our co-organisers for RebLaw Australia.
Hey everyone, welcome to the inaugural Rebellious Lawyering Conference Australia, Movement Lawyering for Social Change. The five of us on screen are the RebLaw organising team. We're a collection of 5 lawyers with diverse experiences in organising and community lawyering. My name is Sarah. Suzie and I are coming in today from Wurundjeri country. Zoe is tuning in from Noongar country. Brooke is coming in from Gadigal country, and Teela is coming in from Bedigal and Gadigal land. We're so excited to see everyone online today. We came together to organise this conference due to a shared frustration with the legal profession in Australia, with how the law in Australia is seen as neutral or apolitical, while the communities we work with bear the brunt of a legal system that better serves rich, powerful and white Australians. And we also had questions about our role as lawyers in legitimising those systems rather than tackling systemic injustice. We see the law as a site of political struggle and the work that lawyers do within it as being a political exercise. We started organising and came together at the start of COVID and in the midst of global organising around structural injustice, racism, and the ways that institutions uphold injustice. We saw this time as a moment when there was real momentum for change and a real need for the legal profession to get its head out of the sand and join movements' calls for systemic change.
And so the conference you're attending today, RebLaw Australia, was born. So we were really inspired by the rebellious lawyering conferences in the USA and the UK, and we wanted to create our own space here in Australia where lawyers, law students and activists could come together in order to transform the Australian legal profession to better support communities and movements fighting for systemic change, whether that's in the context of climate justice, First Nations self-determination, workers' rights, the list goes on. And traditionally, the idea of social justice lawyers as heroes has disempowered the communities and movements that we work with, as lawyers set and drive their own agendas and prioritise legal victories over the more systemic, tangible change that those communities often seek. And it's for that reason that the theme of this conference and the focus of movement lawyering more generally is shifting power towards and building the power of communities and movements. Our hope is that during this conference, you'll hear organisers and storytellers' perspectives on working with lawyers, walk away with tools and lessons to better work with communities and movements in your daily practice, and that you'll join an ongoing conversation and community of practice.
We're thrilled that there's been so much interest in these ideas from across the legal profession and beyond. We've had over 650 people register for the conference, and there are about 327 people online today, which is just incredible. As you can't see each other, we wanted to start by giving you a quick snapshot of who's online today. So you should see a poll pop up on your screen. Just scan the QR code or go to slido.com and type in the code to participate. We'll just give everyone a few minutes to fill that in. Wonderful. Thank you everyone for doing the poll. It's terrific to have so many of you here and a lot of lawyers and also some others. As Zoe said, part of our goal with this conference is to create a community of people who are interested in transforming the Australian legal profession. Unfortunately, the online format puts some limits on the way we get to interact with each other, but within those constraints, we want to encourage as much connection as we can. We've set up a number of ways for people to interact. We have a Slack channel for people to chat to each other during the conference. You'll find a general forum where you can introduce yourselves to others. and groups for each of the topics being covered in our conference sessions. We also have breakout rooms, just half an hour in the second half of the lunch break, which will be facilitated by our team of talented volunteers. Today's breakout room will start at 1:45 p.m. and we really hope some of you can join us there. And finally, we'd love for you to join us in posting about the conference on social media using the hashtag RebLawAU. You can find links and information about all of this, as well as our code of conduct, in the email we sent to everyone this morning. If we're to succeed in changing the way lawyers support social movements, it's important that we're in this together and that each of you are here with us.
I just want to quickly take you through our agenda for the next couple of days and cover some basic housekeeping that will ensure you get as much as possible out of the RebLaw Conference. As you all know, the conference goes over 2 days, so obviously starting today and concluding tomorrow. This morning, we will hear first from our international keynote, Vince Warren. We will also hear from some formidable First Nations women who continue to lead speaking truth to power, who are creating systemic change and are challenging the current Australian legal system. The first of these is the incredible Professor Megan Davis, who will provide our Australian keynote address. This keynote will be followed by Professor Larissa Brent and Teela Reid, who will discuss systemic racism, power and justice. After lunch, we will resume the conference at 2:15 p.m. for the Beyond Court Holistic Advocacy for Movement Lawyers session. This will be the last session for today. Tomorrow we'll recommence and we'll hear from global movement lawyers, discuss lawyering in the age of climate change, as well as abolitionist lawyering, and end our substantive sessions on how we fund for change. We'll conclude the conference with a closing plenary, where we will seek your input in helping us determine how we organise for the future, both in our personal lives, but also as a group, and how the RebLaw Conference can support these efforts. If you have any technological issues, please call 0292 972900. This phone number is also listed in the emails you would have received from us this morning. Finally, we would like to thank a few key people without whom the conference would not be possible. First, Rachel Sarah for providing our now famous logo pro bono. As you can see, we've all got it on our shirt. Thank you to Rowan Arif and the Australian Centre for International Justice for auspicing us and allowing us to get the conference going. To Jane Hibbs and Marlon Ramon and the King & Wood Mallison team for offering the tech support and tools to allow us to run the conference, and of course to all of our sponsors and volunteers. We will now take a really short break before our keynote from Vince at 10:15. So grab a coffee, but don't go too far.